I don't always follow the standard logic of many VO coaches, standard logic, standard practices. And I don't do it on purpose. It's not like I went out there and said, I'm going to go a different path and try to prove everybody wrong. That's not, I didn't go out, start doing that. All I did was say, my mission statement is I want to make money. I've got to provide for myself and my family. And I want to not be a burden on anybody. And I want to be generous. And so I want to make money. And this is a business. It's not a hobby. It's full-time. I want to make as much money as possible. And so that was my goal. That was my mission statement. So I didn't go out trying to do things different just for the sake of doing things different. Sure. Nevertheless, here's what I mean by the fact that I don't always follow the standard logic or practices of so many voiceover coaches. So first of all, I'm going to do a bunch of do's and don'ts within the don't.
Oh, wow.
I do.
It'll be fun naming this.
Direct email marketing. And I do believe it's a numbers game. In other words, I don't spend a lot of time and never have, and my assistant doesn't do that. We don't spend a ton of time personalizing and agonizing and finding out what the studio dog's name is and finding out what everybody's hobby is. I just don't do it. We go to websites. Do they use voiceover talent? Are they in the market for voiceover talent? And then we approach, about the most personalization we do is finding the name and the name of the contact person. Second, I don't have a website. Now, I've taken care of that. A gentleman asked a question about why he couldn't find my website. Well, I don't have one because it's been spammed and hacked and it's kind of been destroyed. I want to have a website, and that's been one of my goals for 3 years now, but I haven't done it because I've been so busy working. And so I'm going to try to get a website this year. This is going to be the 4th year in a row I have it as a goal. But my point is you don't necessarily, if you've done a lot of work marketing yourself, you don't necessarily have to have a website. I want to have a website. I think you should probably have a website.
I'm going to get
You're
one.
going to get a website. My point is, again, that when you've been around long enough, you've developed a lot of contacts, you've done a ton of direct email marketing, you have a lot of clients. Having a website, for me, isn't important. But I still want to have one because I just want people to be able to find me and know that I'm real and stuff like that. So I'm not trying to tell you don't have a website by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just telling you I don't have one and why. Another thing is I don't build out my website or drive potential clients there. I did when I first got it about 8 years ago. But I just don't because I don't want people to have to click and click and click and search and search. And so I don't build it out. I don't vlog. I don't blog. I don't do a lot of, when I get my website again, it's going to be one page and it's going to have my demos there. Feel free to jump in if you want because I've got a bunch yet.
Okay.
I do Fiverr, Upwork, and Voices.com. Now, Fiverr's been down this year a little bit. I've got to learn Upwork from you and I'm working on that. And Voices.com will probably be down. Just will. Between Voices.com and Fiverr, I made about $125,000 last year. So I've got some work to do. But nevertheless, I do Fiverr, Upwork, and Voices.com. A lot of coaches say you can't do that. It's hamburger money. You won't make any money doing it. You're cheapening the industry, all of those types of things.
That's money. $125,000.
Yep.
You've made over $400,000 on Fiverr alone.
Yep. Another thing is I don't make any money from agents, nor am I currently pursuing agents to represent me. Now that may change. I might find an agent I want to work with, or maybe I'll go looking. I don't know. I've had agents in the past. I've made very, very, very little money from agents. This year I made zero from agents out of my 331,000.
Record year, by the way.
I don't follow. Here's one that I'm going to go into detail more in another do's and don'ts Todd's tip. I don't follow SAG-AFTRA, GVAA rates, and I don't need moralizing people telling me that I'm selfish or that I somehow need their protection. I just don't need that. I didn't even know there was a GVAA or SAG-AFTRA for the first 5 or 6 years. I just was trying to make money. I was just trying to pay the bills. And I don't need somebody telling me that I'm hurting the industry because I'm not following it's some random. It just is. I mean, there's some data behind it. And I don't have a problem if people want to follow it. Do you. You do you. I just don't need somebody telling me because I don't follow it. And I'm just fine. I can be successful, and so can you. I don't attend conferences, meetups, or anything like that. I'm not against them, probably. I've never been to one, so I can't speak strongly about it. But I just don't. I don't attend conferences or meetups. I'd rather just stay home and market and make money. I do like to work, and this affects my rates. I don't spend any time researching new gear. Now, you may need to spend time researching new gear because you might be brand new or you might be upgrading. Once I got something that I knew people would pay for and they paid for it a lot and over and over and over again, I'm just sticking with it. Couple of more. I do some social media, but I don't waste time doing it. You have to decide what that is. Some people do it for pleasure. I think a lot of voiceover talent complain about that they can't make any money because they're spending a lot of time posting and doing all sorts of stuff like that, and they're not spending the time marketing and working on their skills. I don't currently do any VO coaching for money, and I'm in my 13th year, and I think that's a rarity today, and we'll talk more about that. I do share my VO only numbers. That's all I make. I don't make any money doing anything else. And I do share them publicly. Again, that's a rarity. And the reason I do that is because, and again, I'll go into detail in weeks to come, because I believe our industry needs accountability and transparency, especially for those who coach. And lastly, I do run my VO business, and as a business, my business has one main priority: make money. Now, I'm not being cocky. I don't feel like I'm edgy or trying to get clicks on our videos. I'm not trying to get people to do exactly what I do. I'm just trying to get people to do one thing: just stop and think. Just stop and think. Don't be sheep. Don't go down the path because there's somebody that has a nice microphone and a video telling you what to do. Don't just follow them. They tell you that they're successful, that they're a great coach, or they tell you somebody else is a great coach. Well, just be careful. Don't be sheep. Just stop and think. Don't get pushed. So that's why I say that I don't always follow the standard logic of many VO coaches.